Hello guys and welcome back to Arizona Adventure Park and our tiny little Fennec Fox Habitat. Yes, as you can see, I already removed the roof from the habitat because I already told you in the last episode that I didn't like it that much, so it definitely had to go. If you have a look at this tiny little habitat, you probably wouldn't believe what I have made out of it. If you haven't seen it already on Twitter, on my Discord, or on Instagram, or anywhere else, or on Facebook, I have to say, I made something pretty huge and ginormous again, and I didn't necessarily plan to go that way, but I just started building and building and building, and things happen. So what we are going to see today, or what you are going to see today, because I already know what I'm going to see, I'm going to build a small mammal house. The small mammal house should contain about 6 different species of small mammals. We already have the Fennec Fox in there, or at this moment out there because it's not already in the building. And I'm going to plan to have in that building the I might have said it in the last episode, but I changed it a little bit. We might have the Chinese pangolin in there, which I'm planning to give it the habitat that I'm building right now here. Then we are going to have the aardvark, the European badger, and the meerkat. And I'm not quite sure about the 6th species because, you see that I'm going to build an aviary right here for the pangolin, because I thought this would make sense because pangolins are climbing, and so I thought it would make sense to give them an aviary kind of habitat. So we're going to have a second aviary. And the aviary on the other side doesn't make sense to me for the badger, doesn't make sense for me for the meerkat, and also it doesn't make sense for the aardvark. So I was thinking, what small mammals do we have in the game that could fit in this house? So there was the koala, the red panda, the beaver, and what else do we have? The prairie dog, and the only animal that really would make sense to me in this moment, or the only animals that would make sense to me, would be the koala and also the red panda, because of the aviary. As I said, all the other animals might match as well, but they won't match in an aviary because as I said, aviary doesn't make that much sense to those animals. And as I'm thinking that I want to have something like an Australian area in the zoo, in a later stage, I think that it would probably be the red panda. But just leave me a comment what you guys do want to see in this house, but keep in mind it has to make sense. I also had someone commenting on Facebook saying I could put in the giant otters from South America. They would also be considered as small mammals, but space-wise, this just wouldn't make sense, and they wouldn't fit in there. So yeah, just let me know in the comments, and I will see what the sixth animal might be that we put in this house. Yeah, in this episode we also are not going to put another animal in the house because yeah, I had to make sure that I fit in the build of the whole building in one episode and don't make it longer than half an hour. So I did my very best to cramp everything inside of this video and to keep all the interesting stuff in there, like the build of this aviary. But I have to tell you, unfortunately, shortly after building the roof for the house, I forgot to hit the record button again. So there was yeah, a lot of stuff by closing up the building that I didn't record, unfortunately, and I couldn't show you in this video, but yeah, I hope you forgive me for that. Yeah, right now we are still building the aviary for our binturong. I would have said no, the binturong already is in another place in the zoo, for our Chinese pangolin. And I just used these smaller mesh fence pieces and bent them like 15 degrees 2 times, and then going for a straight roof up here. And then I noticed I'm a little bit higher than the actual building is, so I decided to put another layer of these I wanted to say concrete pieces, no, these plaster pieces on the building, and just make it a little bit higher. Yeah, then I'm framing the mesh fence pieces with the metal beams. That is absolutely necessary in my opinion, because if you don't frame them with some beams or something like that, they almost disappear, because it is such a thin structure of these mesh fence pieces that you almost don't see them if you don't put something around it. Yeah, finish the roof of it and just doing some adjusting of the metal beams, that it all makes sense and all is aligned in yeah, in a similar fashion. And then we have to finish off the walls on the side, which is a little bit tricky if you have this bended structure that is almost like circular on the sides, and we don't have any circular pieces of the yeah, of the mesh fence. So what I did, I just copied these huge parts up, so that the wall is closed up right there, and then I just took these little tiny small mesh fence pieces and make them fit, not perfectly, but yeah, so that it looks like everything is closed up. Yeah, and I have to admit that I got a little bit messy on the upper parts. But yeah, in the end, you won't see this. Yeah, and here is our second habitat. I just wanted it to have a gate like the Fennec Fox did have, so that every habitat in this house might look similar in any kind of way. Yeah, and then I was preparing the inside with building some of the roof again, which was not that hard, because if you have all these walls in the same height, you could align the roof pieces to the different pieces of the walls, and then everything will close up really perfect. And you won't have any sharp edges or something like that. And I also wanted it not to be that dark inside of the habitats, and I don't want it to have these huge walls in the inside of the house as well. So I decided I wanted to go with some of these glass window pieces in between the roof and the walls, just to give it a little bit more lighting inside of the habitat. In the house, and also for these for these walls in the inside, I wanted the building to look a little bit more open, so I didn't want to have the walls go up all the way, because that would make the building inside look a little bit too pressed. Yeah, at this point I was pretty happy with the outcome, but I didn't know exactly where to go from here. I didn't have the whole shape of the building in my mind at this point. I just was building and laying down the walls, and thought hopefully it might end up and make sense in the end. And sure, in the end it did, but it was a long way to there. And once again, I had much trial and error, and wasn't that happy with it, because I thought it would look too big and the shape wasn't right for me. So that was a little bit difficult. Yeah, here I'm going for the third habitat. I'm just laying down these plaster pieces to mark where I want the habitat, or how I want the habitat to look like, and not building any fences yet. That is what I'm going to do when we actually are going to build the habitat for the animals. I also don't know yet which animal might go in there, maybe the meerkat, or the aardvark, or the badger. But we'll see that when we get to that point, which is not in this episode, and I already didn't build anything new in the zoo yet. So here I'm going to build the third indoor habitat, which also has a similar style, or the same style as the other buildings. But I had to make it a little bit different, because as you can see, it's not 3 times 4 meters. It's a little bit smaller from the windows than the second habitat, and a little bit bigger than the first habitat. So I had to put these plaster pieces between it, because the windows overlaid too much, so I couldn't use the metal beams this time. But I thought that would be cool, and that also makes the whole thing look a little bit different. Yeah, and here was now the point where I was not sure where to go from here, because I had half of the building built. I tried some things and tried to give it a little shape, was not very happy with it. So in the end, what I decided to do was just copy the parts of the left side around to the right side, so that we have almost the similar parts of the building on the opposite side, just with a little variation, because the habitat of the Fennec Fox would be not on the opposite side but on the other side of the building. Yeah, so that we have this little variation. Yeah, and I think in the end the shape of the building looks pretty nice and fits the area here perfectly. Yeah, and I might say what I'm going to do off camera in yeah, maybe today or sometime later. I already or I still have to build some of our staff facilities, because with this huge house here, we definitely have to have a new staff facility where our staff members are only going to take care for this part of the zoo, for this house. So that's something that I need to do. And something that I definitely need to do before we put in another animal in that house. Yeah, here I was laying down the path in the house and also outside. And now it's time to make the inside look pretty. I was using these concrete pieces, these plaster pieces, because I wanted to have something like an elevated big planter in the middle of the building, and therefore I used these almost like a stair looking. And here you can see it really looks pretty, and I just filled it up with the mulch pieces, with the mulch pieces, and yeah, so that we can put in plants later on. I also haven't decided yet which kind of plants I wanted to have in here. Do I want to have tropical plants in there? Do I want to have desert plants in here? Or something like boreal plants, like bamboo or something, because we might have the pangolin in here, and also maybe the red panda. So that would also look nice. Yeah, just as I said, I haven't decided it yet. So if you have any suggestions, feel free in the comment section to let me know. What do you think might fit in here? But to be clear, I don't think that I want to put in tropical plants, because none of the animals that we are going to have in this building are going to be tropical animals. Yeah, and here I came up with something new. I also used these plaster pieces for the foundation of the building, because I think they looked pretty nice, and gave the whole building such a clean look, and I was really into that. And yeah, now I'm going to put down a planter in this part of the building for the Fennec Fox, and put in some decoration as well, just to make the whole thing not look too clean and tidy. That's something I didn't want to have, because I really want the whole thing to look as interesting as it could be. So once again, I'm putting in some of the mulch pieces, so that we can put in the plants later on. And I also used some of the sculptures that we have in the game, some of the sculptures of the Fennec Fox, and statues. Statues. A little bit of rock work to make it look interesting. and then I'm going to put in some of the statues and these sculpture from the Fennec Fox. In a later stage I'm recoloring it in the color of our walls because I thought that would fit a little bit better. And also I thought it's a shame that we don't have these statues and sculptures of every animal that we have in the game, and also that we have these different styles of statues. That makes it pretty hard when you build something like this small mammal house and you want to go with the decoration and make it look similar in some kind of way, and it is just not possible because you don't have the same pieces for every animal. That is yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, we have that piece of the rock sticking through the wall, but that's not a big problem because we are going to clean that up later on as we're going to the outside and make it look a little bit nicer. So yeah, we're going to cover that later. Yeah, and here I'm putting down these aquatic fences because I really do love the style of them. Um, yeah, and that gives the whole building once more a completely different look and makes it almost look like in a museum or something like that. What would look really, really, really nice in the middle of that building would be something like a skeleton or something like that, like a dinosaur or some extinct mammal skeleton. That would be very, very cool. Yeah, usually I don't use pieces from the workshop, but thinking of a skeleton, I know that there are some in the workshop. Um, I might think about that if I'm going for that. Yeah, but what I'm doing here right now is going to build a roof for the house, and I wanted to have something like a wavy shape for it. Um, it didn't turn out that wavy as I imagine it should have looked like, but in the end I'm very happy with it because it's just a different shape and yeah, it looks pretty nice in the end. And also we have these height variation in the building on the right and on the left side, as the right side is a little bit lower than the left side, and that gives the whole building a very interesting shape. Yeah, and I just was thinking how to build it so that it would look realistic and make sense. So I decided that I wanted to, yeah, first of all, we had to elevate our walls from the building a little bit more. So to give the whole building a little bit more height. And then I decided that I wanted to cover these glass pieces with the plaster pieces, so that it would match the rest of the building. Yeah, not only that it would match the building, but that it would yeah, that it would connect better to the rest of the building, and don't make it look like it was just something that was laid on top of it. So yeah, here you see how it looks with the copy with the plaster pieces around it, and here's the finished thing. So here comes now the part where I'm very sad that it is not in the video, that I didn't record it. So here you just see I already put in the doors in the building, put down the sign "Small World," and yeah, I'm ready for decorating the building in the outside, I might say. Yeah, you see, I put down some big windows on the front and on the back side of the building, and this building is really, really big, so you can see it almost from every angle in our zoo already, which is pretty nice. Yeah, and here we are preparing the outside to make it look nice with putting down these concrete pieces again to cover the edges of our visitor path. And I also have to think about these different paths here, like you already could see for our the staff path, and also the path here where I decided to have these black paths go into the house. Yeah, I might cover that a little bit because I don't like it that much that yeah, that this overlapping, this is not cute. Yeah, and once more, I wanted to have a little bit of second fencing on the outside, so I decided to go with this mesh piece fences, which was a bad idea, I might say, because yeah, moving them around was a little bit difficult because it didn't match with the grid, and yeah, that took a long time until I finished, and it will take a long time to finish this around the complete house. So yeah, maybe we change it in a later stage, but yeah, for now we are going with it. Yeah, once again putting in some mulch pieces to put down some plants afterwards. Let me know what you think about this, because I have mixed feelings about the end result of this. Because I think it looks a little bit too overwhelming, and the plants that I put down in here, they look nice, don't get me wrong, they look really nice, but I think that covers up too much of the Fennec Fox habitat. So I don't know, let me know in the comments what you think about it. I think of maybe changing it a little bit, maybe also deleting the mulch pieces and just have it some desert sand underneath, a little bit more rocks and a little bit more of yeah, of smaller growing plants, so that not as much as right now is covered from the habitat. Yeah, that was a point where I was thinking afterwards that maybe I have done a little bit too much, and yeah, I don't know. Just let me know what you think. Do you think it is okay? I can let it leave like this, or should I change it up once more? But at this moment, I think it might be a better idea to change it. Yeah, for example, like something like this I did here on the left side of the entrance of the building. I didn't use the mulch pieces, so it matches the whole area a little bit better. And yeah, I'm also happy with the usage of these giant meerkat statues. that I put in in front of the entrance of this house, because that gives the whole thing such an iconic, such a great look. I just do love it. Yeah, and that was the point where I found out that we don't have statues or matching statues for every animal that we are going to put into the house. For example, we don't have badger statue. We don't have an aardvark statue, but at least we have the pangolin statue, and I put it down right here, right next where the wall says small world, and also on the other side, because it just looked so cute and perfect for this. I just had to put it down there. Yeah, once again, some of the plants. As I said, I might think about something on like that on the other side as well. Yeah, and we are already at the end of the episode. In the next episode, we're going to put in the next habitat for the house, and I also show you a little bit around. And yeah, if you liked it, just leave a like, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next episode. And thank you for watching, and I love to see you next time. Bye!